a little bit north to the great state of Tennessee, where the LSU Tigers. But let me just put this into frame. The LSU Tigers have been dominant over the last few years in the SEC. Maybe not dominant. They've been one of the best programs in college football. They won a national championship in 2003, 2007. They made one in 2011. They won another in 2019, of course, with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. LSU is a known program, and they're great. And they're traveling up to play old Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, who's been the bottom feeder of the SEC over the last 20 years. Vanderbilt, who hasn't really won anything special in terms of league player, or they haven't really been nationally relevant for a very long time. And yet, Vanderbilt is favored in this game against LSU. Vegas is saying that Vanderbilt should win this game. It would be an upset if the LSU Tigers beats the Vanderbilt Commodores. And by the way, Vanderbilt hasn't won against LSU since 1990. That is 35 long years that Vanderbilt has not conquered the Tigers. So that is the matchup we have. This is the world we're living in, where the Vanderbilt Commodores, who haven't beaten LSU in 35 years, are favored against the Bayou Bengals. Just crazy stuff. That's the craziness of college football right there. But that's not the question. Vanderbilt doesn't care if they're favored by 30, if they're favored by 1.5, or if they're 20-point underdogs. They don't care about the spread. They care about winning the football game. So can they win this football game? Vegas says yes. What do we say? Well, I see Vanderbilt is fifth in the SEC in rushing yards. They run the ball really, really well. And guess what? LSU is last in the SEC in rushing yards per game. So if we're just running the ball, Vanderbilt is so much better at it than LSU is. But let's look at the last couple games they've played. LSU took on South Carolina at home, and guess what? They ran the ball well. They ran it for over 170 yards in that game. It's what they leaned on, and they need to lean on it because this offense has a lot of injuries at the wide receiver position, and Garrett Nussmeier is not 100% right now. Will he be at some point this season? We really don't know, but it's very clear that if you cannot run the ball and you put all your pressure on Garrett Nussmeier to go out and win the game, he is not able to do that right now. He's not at 100%. Aaron Anderson's coming off an injury. Nick Anderson is beat up. This passing attack is not good enough to be able to win games when it doesn't have the support of a rushing attack. So that is a very important part to look at. And if this game is close, do we trust Nussmeier to go out and win the game on like a 2-minute drive? I don't know. I haven't seen enough health from him this year for me to believe that. I think that the key to this game for Vanderbilt, if Vanderbilt wants to win this game, they have to do something that they did not do it against Alabama. And that is, don't put the ball in Diego Pavia's hands to throw it 35 times and expect Diego Pavia to go out and play at a Heisman level and for him to win you the game. As good as Diego Pavia is, as well as he fits into this offense, as well as the culture around him is fantastic. Those guys would die for Diego Pavia, and I love that about him. But Diego Pavia is not this type of quarterback that's going to go out and win you a football game by going 35 for 40 with 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's not the type of quarterback he is, and that's what they tried to be against Alabama. They ran the ball, they handed the ball off to running backs less than 10 times against Alabama. I saw that stat line and I said, Vanderbilt, what are you doing? This is how you won the game last year, was by creative run schemes, by motions, and getting the Alabama linebackers hoodwinked and by outflanking them. That's how they won this game against Alabama last year, and they completely garbaged up that game plan and threw it in the trash can and said, Diego Pavia, go out there and win. And I didn't like that at all. I think Vanderbilt needs to be better in the red zone. I think that's one of the other main reasons they lost against Alabama. They were very poor in the red zone. They need to run the ball more. And honestly, running the ball is tough against this LSU front. They're good. This is a good LSU defense, but you know who had success running the ball against them? Ole Miss. South Carolina, to an extreme. South Carolina, a little bit. They kind of had success. So it's been done before. Vanderbilt has to do it in this game if they want to win it. And also, Pavia has to take care of the ball. This is a really good LSU secondary. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. LSU ran a lot of man coverage against Ole Miss, and Mansour Delane was great. They didn't throw at him because they were scared to, but Their other corners are not elite in man coverage, but I still think Pavi has to take care of the ball through 2 interceptions against Bama. Cannot have that. They need to run the ball more. But at the end of the day, I think that I trust Vanderbilt to supply enough and give their quarterback enough help to win this game more than I trust LSU to do that. I think Vanderbilt runs the ball more. I think they have more of an identity. They have more of consistency on offense. And I think because of that, I'm picking Vanderbilt to do something they have not done since 1990, and that is beat the LSU Tigers. Now, if this happens, there's going to be a lot of talk going on in Baton Rouge about my boy Brian Kelly. But that's just what I think is going to happen. And if Vanderbilt goes out there and Diego Pavia throws the ball for 35 times in this game, I'm not going to be happy with Vanderbilt because I picked them. They're my dogs in this game. If they go out there and just abandon the run game again, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy. By the way, Will also picked Miami, and Will is taking LSU in this game. I mean, LSU's talent profile is way better than Vanderbilt's. Vanderbilt's got those big offensive linemen. If they just run the ball, I think they can win. So go Commodores in this game. This will be their biggest win of the year for sure to date. And they would be bowl eligible if they pulled this off already. So I love that for Vanderbilt. It's an 11 o'clock kick, so we'll see how that plays into it. But I've got Vanderbilt winning this game. Moving on to